Hi guys, welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel we post writing tips, unboxings, book hauls, book reviews and the occasional vlog. And today I have another book review for you and it is Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. I don't have the book sleeve for this one because this is a borrowed book from my friend Jazz, who was a booktuber over at Red Panda Reads. She's currently not making videos, but I will put a link to her channel below if you want to see her past videos, because she's an awesome person and has great taste in books. So she lent me Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas and I loved it so much. This was a 5-star read for Jazz, and just one night we were just discussing books and she mentioned this one, and it's one that I've seen around sometimes and been really interested in. So as it was a 5-star read for her last year, I was like, I have got to read this. It is June, the month of Pride. It is such a celebration of the LGBTQ plus community and so representative. I absolutely adored this read. As always with my book reviews, I'll read you guys the blurb first. Before we get into that, don't forget, if you like what you see, to subscribe to this channel. Your continued support means a lot, so thank you guys so much. For the blurb for this, I'm going to have to use my phone. Yadriel has summoned a ghost, and now he can't get rid of him. When his traditional Latinx family has problems accepting his gender, Yadriel becomes determined to prove himself a real Brujo. With the help of his cousin and best friend Maritza, he performs the ritual himself and then sets out to find the ghost of his murdered cousin and set it free. However, the ghost he summons is actually Julian Diaz, the school's resident bad boy, and Julian is not about to go quietly into death. He's determined to find out what happened and tie up some loose ends before he leaves. Left with no choice, Yadriel agrees to help Julian so that they can both get what they want. But the longer Yadriel spends with Julian, the less he wants to let him leave. This is a romance. It is set in America about a Latino family who live on a graveyard, and they actually have this power where the men of the family can help souls cross to the land of the dead, and the women of the family have healing powers. Our main character Yadriel is transgender, and though their family half accepts who they are and generally use their chosen name or their true name, generally refer to them using he pronouns. However, they often slip up. They also will not accept Yadriel as a Brujo. They still want Yadriel to use the power for healing, which is not going well. They can't do that. They are not female. So it's my first book reading from a transgender character's main point of view, and I absolutely adored it and learned so much from this book as well. We also have Yadriel's best friend, their cousin Maritza, who is so sassy and I absolutely adore her. She is fantastic. We have so much good representation in this book. It also explores obviously the traditions of Latin Americans, and again, this is something I don't know much about, being from the UK, so I found that fascinating. It talks about their food, the flowers, all of the preparations for the Day of the Dead celebrations. Beautiful, so colourful, and it is a real sort of coming of age story. It's about learning and developing and a family accepting Yadriel for who they really are. Such a beautiful and easy to read book as well. I only actually have 3 quotes from this book. Honestly, I was just so engrossed in the story and just enjoying it. I didn't stop to take down that many quotes, so let me read you guys those quotes first. On page 5, "We're getting too big. Your butt's getting too big," Yadriel teased. "Maybe you should lay off the pastelitos," he grinned. "And lose these curves?" she asked, smoothing her hands down her waist and hips. Maritza gave him a sarcastic smile. "Thanks, but I'd rather die." Yes, I just love this representation of Maritza. You keep those curves. They're trying to squeeze through bars that they've always squeezed through for their whole time growing up. But obviously, Maritza is developing beautiful hips, a beautiful arse. She ain't losing those curves for nobody. And I just loved the sort of body positivity in this, and also the positive attitude towards food as well. Lovely. Page 13. Being transgender and gay had earned Yadriel the title of head black sheep among the brooch. though, in truth, being gay had actually been much easier for them to accept, but only because they saw Yadriel's liking boys as still being heterosexual. But Maritza had certainly earned the title in her own right as the only vegan brush in their community. Oh, the family drama. Being vegan not only means that Maritza can't eat certain traditional Latin American foods, but it also means she can't do the healing powers of her community because it requires blood. Now, they use chicken blood for this, but obviously as a vegan, Maritza will not harm a chicken, so she can't do it. I also find it so funny that being vegan is shown as this big step for the family, which it often is for certain people. Like, I'm pescatarian and I have so many memories growing up of not my mum, because she's also vegetarian, but of extended family and things like that, of the traditional joke of, the vegetarian option at family meals being, here's some scissors, go and eat the grass. And people find this funny and harmless. And yes, on the surface you could say it is, but when you hear that at every single social family gathering, it's not harmless anymore. It is so infuriating to hear. And yeah, you get that vibe from this book. And my final quote is from page 87. When Yadriel refused to respond, Julian just went on talking to himself. Yadriel didn't know it was possible for someone to have so little filter between their brain and their mouth. I am so guilty of this. I also found this could possibly be representation of ADHD. It might not be, but it could be. Julian fidgets all the time. They're either fully into something or not into it at all, and they cannot stop talking. It's also a way that people deal with anxiety, myself included. I will either clamp up or I will talk a lot. You never know which one you're going to get. So I really love that representation. Now, I haven't got a quote from it, but just know that this book has two absolutely amazing dogs called Michelangelo and Donatello, and just know they filled my heart with so much joy. They're such beautiful, friendly giants, and I adored them. Now, my overall review of Cemetery Boys. I didn't want to give too much away in this book, which is another reason I didn't take down too many quotes, because I just feel like it's a book people should read. You learn so much. It's such an easy read. It's really, I don't know how to describe it, but I couldn't put it down, especially near the end. The twist. I guessed sort of what was going on, but who was doing it was a slap in the face. I did notice it does have some spelling mistakes throughout, but I forgave them because the book overall is so perfect. They could have been caught with just one more round of editing. Let's go into my overall review point system for this book. For enjoyment, I gave it 10 out of 10. For writing style, 10 out of 10. Plot, 10. World building, 10. Characterization, 10. Representation, obviously 10. And originality, 10. It's a 5-star read for me too, guys. Jazz was right. Such a good read and such a worthwhile read. The representation alone is so fantastic. I highly recommend for everyone to read this book, even if you're not into romance, just to read the representation and the beauty of LGBTQ plus community, the beauty of the Latino community, and the traditions of the Day of the Dead. Is such a beautiful read. I loved it. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this book review. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You can also hit that notification bell to be notified whenever I upload. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr. I post enjoyable bookish pictures as well as writing tips and unboxings on there. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great month of Pride. Bye!